Morning.
Most of our snowbirds have left, and it just makes it a little quieter in here, doesn't it? Don't tell them. Well, let us begin with our opening hymn for the month. It's called Bright Morning Stars, was composed by Matt Meyer. And we invite you to rise in body or spirit and join us in singing.
Bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising. Day is a-breaking in my soul. Rise up from morning slumber, rise up from morning slumber, rise up from morning slumber. Day is a-breaking in my soul. Rise up and hear your calling, rise up and hear your calling, rise up and hear your calling. Day is a-breaking in my soul.
My thoughts exactly. Good morning, everybody. I'm Ben Basili. My pronouns are he and him, and I'm your worship associate on this Sunday morning. We welcome you into this sanctuary where we celebrate diversity and learn from one another, no matter our differences, to deepen our sacred connections and transform the world with love. Let us begin our worship with these opening words by Marianne Hodgson Cutter. Welcome to this place of possibility. Welcome to this place of possibility. This is love's hearth, the home of hope, a refuge for minds in search of truth unfolding, ever beautiful, ever strange. Here, compassion is our shelter, freedom from protection from the storms of bigotry and hate. In this abode, may we find comfort and courage. Here may our sight become vision to see the unseen, to glimpse the good that is yet to be. We are glad to have you with us here today as we continue to explore the many beautiful possibilities that we can embrace. Heather will get us started with our call to community.
Thank you, Ben. I am Heather Norby. I am the Spiritual Life Director for this fantastic congregation. And I use the pronouns she and her. Love plus connection equals transformation. And so I'm going to share with you some ways that we can live into that mission statement today. This Wednesday, here in the sanctuary at 6:30 p.m. will be our new program, which is actually much less a program than it is just a way to be together, called the Sitting Room. This week, it's actually Macy's birthday. And so we're going to celebrate with her, and she asked that you bring a conversation piece that reminds you of a celebration so we can share memories and stories. Today after service is potluck, and then is Marcia Bergen's celebration of life service. So please join us for that. And also, hospitality, as usual, needs help with potluck. So be sure to, figure out how you can help and come for Marcia's service. And that would be great. Thank you. The next pagan gathering will be the third Thursday, April 16th. You'll gather at 7 p.m. Where at? In the social hall. And you'll start at 7:30 p.m. We are having a tarot deck show and trade. David Mata will do a small tarot presentation, and then anyone who is willing can do readings. Tomorrow night, for Holocaust Remembrance Day at Temple Emmanuel in Lakeland at 7 p.m., there will be a PowerPoint presentation, a panel discussion, and an open forum with those in attendance. This is a community ecumenical event and open to all. And so we have been invited to join the temple for this event. Don't forget that In only 2 weeks, we are having our annual meeting after service here in the sanctuary. That means if you're not going to make it, please see Adam about getting a proxy. But of course, we want you to be here. Our annual meetings, it's the only big meeting we have during the year in which we get to do the really important church business. And so we ask that all members please come. Next week after service, we'll have a town hall meeting in which we'll go through the packet and we'll practice the meeting procedure. So please come to that so that we are prepared. And of course, the night before the meeting, on April 25th, we're having our annual dinner. And anyone is invited to that, but please RSVP to Jen Dean, whose email is in the newsletter, and let us know that you're coming so we know how much dinner to make. And there is a talent show. Anybody sign up for that yet? Oh, right. Ken and Dorothy did. So please go ahead and sign up, and I think we're going to have karaoke too. All right, that's all I have for announcements. Be sure to check your order of service and your newsletter, which is now published at the beginning of each month, for more information. And I will invite Ben up to light the chalice.
The flaming chalice is a symbol of this Unitarian Universalist faith. We light it each Sunday, as do UU churches around the world, to create sacred space, to connect us with one another, and to remember who we are as a people of faith. Let us center ourselves in love as we recite the covenant for our shared UU value of equity. We declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain a fully accessible and inclusive communities. Did not ask before, but Ken, would you do us the honor of lighting our chalice?
Thank you, Ken. Please rise and bow to your spirit, and let us sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. this is the moment when I invite our children and also the young at heart to come join me up front. All right. Hi. You got a front row seat. Yeah. Hi. How y'all doing? So, you also kind of have a front row seat? Yeah. You're welcome to sit wherever you would like up here. Yeah. How y'all doing? Yeah. Were you excited to come to church today? Yeah. Yeah. You have 2 new baby goats? Oh, baby goats are so cute. Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that you came to tell me that. So why were you excited to come to church today? Why? Oh, she forgot. So many reasons, she can't get them all out. Do you make new friends when you're here? Yeah. You like to see all these people? You have a friend, he's your cousin? Yeah, cousins can be good friends. Yeah. Yeah, Rachel. You just like coming here? Yeah. Yeah. And this is your first Sunday here. They're being silly over there. And what about you? It's your first Sunday? Oh, you know what? It's not just you. It's their first Sunday too. We have new friends today. Thank you for coming. Yeah. So, what is it, do you think, that makes this a church? I think they know the answer over there, but they're being shy. Yes? People. People, yes. People make this a church, yeah. But is it just showing up, listening, and then leaving that makes it a church, or is there something that happens? Something that happens. What is it that happens? You get to go to the RE room? You have fun? Okay, fun can make it a church. Yeah. Church stuff happens? Yeah, what do? We light, yeah, what's that called? The chalice. Yeah, it's a candle in the chalice. Yeah, we sing songs together. We make friends. Means that we build relationships with each other, right? Okay, now here's a harder question. What is a covenant? Huh? What even is a covenant? So, as it turns out, a covenant is actually a very big thing. That's a coven. It's close. It's very close, right? It's a covenant is the reason that we are Unitarian Universalists. Covenant is what makes us a religion, okay? A religion is you know, we hear a lot about religion, and often people gather in a church and they are of a certain religion because they believe the same thing. But here, we don't all believe the same thing. And so what is it that binds us together? It's a covenant. And a covenant is like a promise that we make to each other. And it says, well, if you look on the posters on our wall, there's a covenant for each one of our values. Yeah, it says, we covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. What does that mean? Those are some big words. Yeah. It means that we are trying to make the world fair and a better place for all people to thrive in. Yeah. Equity. Yes. So we also covenant to be kind to each other, right? So if I don't agree with you, we're going to fight about it? No, we're not. In our religion, we say, no. There is another possibility. There is a better way to do this. We talk, yeah. We figure out how to be together even when we disagree. We might say sorry. Yes, that's a good one, yeah. What else might happen? You what? It's okay. You can come back to me later with that. Yeah, so we make covenants as Unitarian Universalists that say, hey, we're going to be kind to each other. We're going to be curious about what we're thinking. And we're going to promise to learn together. What do you think? Do you learn together when you go out to RE? Yeah. It's your first time, and it's your first time, and your first time, and you're going to go out and you're going to learn with all your new friends. Yeah, so that's what we do. We learn how to be together because our relationships are so important. The way that we learn how to be in relationships and the way that we learn how to be kind is what actually makes the world a better place, not really what we believe, right? Because we all believe something different. Well, my little wiggle worms, are you ready to go? Okay, so before you go, I want you to know that it is my covenant, my promise to you, that I will learn more about you. I will be curious about the things that you like and the things that you believe and the things that you know. And together, we'll have fun. Okay, good. You like that? Yes. Thank you. All right. You're free to go. Yeah.
Here we gather, tucked back in this friendly neighborhood between the beautiful tall pines. We are a small church with big aspirations, but we can grow into these aspirations as we give of our time, talents, and treasure. Delightfully, this is the relationship of reciprocity, for in return for our giving, we receive the gifts of community, friendship, support, connection, and joy. The ushers will now pass our plates to receive your gifts. Repeat after me. It is a blessing to be.
It is a blessing to be.
It is a blessing to be here.
It is a blessing to be here.
It is a blessing to be here now.
It is a blessing to be here now.
It is a blessing to be here now together.
It is a blessing to be here now together.
Thank you all for your gifts. As a congregation, we come together in many ways. Through collaboration and commitment and covenant, we support one another. Our ritual of joys and sorrows allows us to put that into tangible practice. Our Joys and Sorrows book is an opportunity to share with everyone here something that is occurring in your life, whether that be an ongoing source of grief or something that made you smile for a brief yet memorable moment. Before the beginning of service, the Joys and Sorrows book is accessible to anyone who wishes to write down a personal joy or sorrow to share. It sits on the podium just through the main entrance to the sanctuary. Today, I have an entry from Destiny, who says, by some divine miracle, my grandmother is being released from the nursing rehab and is coming home on Friday. She writes, I am so thankful she has recovered as much as she has. Wonderful. A joy from Dorothy. Okay, Dorothy, is this a joy? Please help clean up. It is a joy to clean up together. After the memorial service. Thank you, Dorothy. From Athena. A dear friend and member of the activism community, Carolyn Bauman, has passed away. My heart breaks for her husband, Jay, and her daughters. If any of you had the pleasure of meeting and knowing her, I grieve with you during this difficult time. Thank you, Athena. I believe Athena went out with the children. I'm sad to hear that. Also, I just want to let you know that Joshua is in the hospital again, so keep him in your thoughts. And also I heard from Catherine this morning, and she says that Nick is also in the hospital, awaiting a likely heart operation, valve replacement. So please keep Nick and Catherine in your thoughts, and also their children. Thank you. And let us say our prayer. You are not alone. We are holding it together. As a congregation, we value interdependence. Sharing joys and sorrows through words and ritual is a part of what that means to us. So I invite all of you now to partake in our ritual of dropping stones into our joys and sorrows bowls. There's one on each end of the table. This is an act of coming together, perhaps with the divine, maybe with fellow members of the congregation, or even with parts of yourself that you wish to connect with. So in this moment, you are welcome to come together in whichever way feels right to you. The stones are at the back of the sanctuary, and then you may form two lines. So come on up to the table. Thank you.
Excerpts from a reading by Unitarian theologian James Luther Adams, written in 1975, entitled, I Call That Church Free. This is slightly adapted. I call that church free which enters into covenant with the ground of freedom, that sustaining, judging, transforming power not made with human hands. It binds together families and generations, protecting against the idolatry of any human claim to absolute truth or authority. I call that church free, which in covenant brings the individual into a caring, trusting fellowship that protects and nourishes their integrity and spiritual freedom. Its goal is the prophethood and the priesthood of all believers. Prophethood, calling for liberation for all, priesthood offering a ministry of healing. I call that church free, which earns and creates a tradition binding together past, present, and future in a living tether, in a continuing covenant and identity, bringing forth treasures both new and old. It is open to insight and conscience from every source. I call that church free, which does not cringe in despair, but casting off fear is lured by the divine persuasion to respond in hope to the light that has shone and still shines in the darkness.
To preach about the lure of divine persuasion is to preach about something very different than an already determined end of times, different from the coming day of judgment by an all-powerful God. Instead, it is to preach about possibilities. To be lured is to have been given the gift of imagination, the ability to imagine possibilities for the future that we can create. Not just any possibilities, but beautiful, harmonious possibilities. And it is a divine persuasion, one of love and of truth, that guides us, without coercion, towards those possibilities. To respond to this lure of divine persuasion with hope is to know that we don't have to have ecological destruction, corrupt political systems, or catastrophic plagues in order for a new earth to be created. It's to know that a Savior is not coming for us. It's to know that we are the ones we've been waiting for, and we can go beyond imagination to create a beauty-filled, harmonious world right here on this very earth. It is to know that every moment of life is an opportunity for such a creation. These are the basic concepts of what we call process theology, developed by Alfred North Whitehead in the early 20th century. James Luther Adams, who wrote the reading that Ben presented, was a Unitarian theologian, perhaps the most notable Unitarian theologian of the 20th century. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
You went to seminary? That's cheating. No, I'm just kidding. James Luther Adams. Yeah, that's him there. And Adam has heard of him because he's a lifelong UU and he lives with me. So, I could spend hours talking about James Luther Adams and even more hours talking about Whitehead's process theology, but we won't go there today. Adams was actually a student of Whitehead's. And so he incorporated much of those concepts into his theology. But Adams incorporated elements of many other theologies into his own to come up with a robust kind of liberal theology, one that left behind passive individualism and inspired to embrace a meaningful theological framework that called people to community and to action. He expanded upon Martin Luther's priesthood of all believers and proposed that our free Unitarian Universalist communities should be ones which embraced the prophethood of all believers. In other words, every person, every one of you, every voice in our communities has the potential to be prophetic, to speak out for justice in the face of power. This was Adams' response to the rising fascism in the 1930s, and it has shaped who we are today. Adams argued that religious authenticity is tested by its impact on public policy, challenging us to engage in an aggressive love to fight racism, poverty, and authoritarianism. He reconceptualized the church, asking us to come together as a community of believers actively tasked with judging and improving society. Mic drop. Woo! It was a line too early. He turned Jesus' words, "By the fruits they shall be known," into "by their groups they shall be known." Mic drop. Gotta go with it. And so, when we welcome new members into our community, we should be aware of just how significant the moment is. We are welcoming people with whom we will build community, people whose prophetic voices will join ours as we speak truth in the face of injustice, people with whom we will imagine possibilities so we may create a more loving world. And so we are going to have a new member ceremony, yes, again today. Ben said to me, "Wait a minute, didn't we do that a few weeks ago?" We did indeed, and it is a blessing to be able to do it again because it is, well, of course, we are blessed to have these people join and rejoin our community, and also because we only are together, an hour or two a week, and we need to get to know each other. And so this is a great opportunity for those who are new or who have rejoined our community to come and tell us about themselves so we can get to know them. Now, I see that Jen is not here today, and hopefully they're okay. I know that Jen's daughter was having some health issues, so keep them in your thoughts, and I'll check in with them and hope that everything's all right. So that's okay. Ben is a board member, so he's here to help us. So we're going to have Jessica Black, Bobby Harris, and Laura Young join or rejoin, as you will see, our congregation. So I want to say to those three people, we welcome you, new and reinstated members, who will help carry on the legacy of love, freedom, truth, and service that our founders left for us. It is exciting to wonder about what kind of future we as a community will leave for the next generations. It is exciting to get to know you wonderful people who will imagine possibilities with us and help to create and sustain this community. Who will we be now, and what will we do together? So we will call you, oh no, I'm going to have Ben read Jen's part for you, and then we will call you up. Sorry, I'm out of order today. So I'm going to call you up here, the three of you. And you're welcome to just kind of sit in the front row there. We'll start with Bobby Harris, because she's been up in the pulpit before, so she can. No, come on up here, because you're going to speak now. Sorry. Yeah. Woo! So, some of you know Bobby Harris, because Bobby joined in. Hold on, I found it. I sure did. Bobby signed the book on November 17th, 2019. And then she took a break. And that's okay, because she needed it. And here she is, ready to reinstate her membership. And so I have asked her, because not all of you know her, to speak to us. So I'll give you the mic.
Hi, good morning. My name is Bobby Boatwright Harris. I'm retired from Hillsborough College, which used to be Hillsborough Community College in Tampa, as Professor Emeritus of History. I also taught history at Brookdale Community College and Monmouth University in New Jersey. My retirement from Hillsborough was because my husband's dementia progressed to needing full-time care. From caregiving to widowhood on the afternoon of his death, without a guide, nor did my grief have a manual, I knew nothing. I was afraid, I was in shock, my body physically hurt, and my brain was muddled. But fear came knocking. Nothing was sacred from this overwhelming fear. Grocery shopping became a nightmare. Imagine, how many bananas do you buy now? What do you buy in lettuce? Don't know. So you just run out of the store and go home. The ringing of the phone, opening my email or mailbox, random noises like the wind, and the scariness of all was what was or was not outside of my house. The environment was just too big. It was unbelievable to me that he died, but he did. My world was now really small and in turmoil. The world was too big for me, and that feeling of fear was paralyzing. What happened to my spirit, my ability to climb out of something like this? This traumatic experience rocked the very essence of me. Where was my grace and patience with myself? After all, I was a teacher. I was empty. Grief counseling was a tremendous help in adjusting to my new reality. But still, I was empty. Before me, my husband, I'm the third wife of my husband. Busy guy. My husband had been the senior pastor at the Congregational Church on the Green in New Haven. And with me, he spoke a number of times to Unitarians in Connecticut and New York. That initial introduction would guide me to these doors that Melissa opened for me. She was the greeter that morning. I thought I was in the right place at the right time. Heather gave a sermon that had to do with death. I cried. And Adam played a video featuring one of my favorite gospel groups, Sweet Honey in the Rock, entitled Wanting Memories. I remember looking at the clouds to find my husband. That's what the song said. With all the good signs, I was not ready. I had nothing to give. My husband had died at the end of June, and I came in November. I questioned the what of my values and ethics. My hopes and dreams, what did I want? What did I have faith in? I was a stranger living in my own body with a brain that could not comprehend life after a 42-year marriage, or indeed loss. I decided to revisit religion that was central to my childhood through the Black Pentecostal and African Methodist Episcopal Zion denominations. I tried to believe in the tenets of those denominations to make the shoe fit, but it was too tight. I did not give up. I read the New International Version of the Christian Bible, listened to progressive Black church Bible study classes and sermons by prominent Black preachers and writers like Doctors Gardner C. Taylor, James Cone, Howard Thurman, and Howard John Wesley. I read books also written by them. My approach was as a graduate student. Listen, read, question. I also read the interpreted lectures of the King James Version given to seminary students at Duke University School of Theology. This led me to Katie Cannon, the first African-American woman ordained in the United Presbyterian Church and a founding figure in women's theology. Down-to-earth intellectual exploration of theology was right for me. Other womanist theologians, Dr. Rena Weems, Dr. Judy Fentress, Williams, and others gave me their coattails for my journey to value myself based on intention and direction for a purposeful life. In the summer of 2024 at Yale Divinity School, I took an online course entitled A Journey of Transformation. While this was a religion-based course comparing transformation and conversion, I took the course to further understand that experiences changed me to a woman with a lifelong relationship to widowhood and understand what it meant in my life today. I return here not after so brief hiatus, transformed to a person with purpose, direction, and to give in areas best suited for me. I am now going through UUA spiritual training for pastoral care. I have new shoes and they fit. Glad to be back. Yay for me. You said you coordinated that sermon, right?
Well, Bobby, we are so glad to have you back. Ben has a package for you. Woo. And so I guess we don't need to do anything special in the book. She's just already there. She's already there. All right. Well, I would like to invite Jessica Black up. Jessica is a new member.
That's fine. We're Brazilian, that's fine. It's just, there's an example of resiliency, and then you just carry on.
I do that all the time, by the way.
I was like, it's the same color. I should have. Yes. Bobby, that was amazing. I was like, she'll a little, I was like, she's a history professor and and has a lot more experience up here, I think, than I do. But this is, we all bring something different to the church. So I am from Maine, and I'm down here helping my mom out. So that's what I'm doing down here. I'm a chef, and I have had a lot of experience working in catering and also working on boats, all different kinds of yachts and other kinds of boats as well. And I was thinking about why, so I'm obviously somebody who is interested in adventure and curious about the world and travel, probably like most of us here, seeking various things in life. And I was thinking about the places that I feel the most at home and the most myself. So when I was thinking, like, coming down here, helping my mom, I'm coming from Maine. It's very, Portland, Maine, especially where I'm from, it's very liberal, very just like, I think we have like 5 Unitarian churches within like a 10-mile radius, and the population of Portland is like only 60,000. That's the biggest city in Maine. It's smaller than this. That's our big city. So coming down here, and my mom said, there's a Unitarian church in Lakeland, and it's the only one in Polk County, which I was thinking, wow, this county is the size of Rhode Island, and this is the only Unitarian church. So it's kind of a little bit of like culture shock, like as far as like what's happening down here, but also I feel like that makes us that much more special, because this is where all the people, I think, who are like-minded and see the problems in the world, there are many challenges, and want to do something about it and have a different view, I think we gather here. So I've definitely found a lot of community here, and immediately, like walking in the door, I'm pretty outgoing, but I feel the most at home that I do anywhere in Florida when I'm right here, because this is, I was thinking about, we've heard a lot about Mr. Rogers in the past, always, but in the past couple of months with Heather's sermons and just things I've been reading online, when things are challenging, Mr. Rogers' mother said, look for the helpers, and I feel like this is where the helpers are, so. Sorry, I don't know, that may be emotional, but I think, here they are. Here are the helpers. We see the challenges in the world, and we want to do something about it. And I also am very interested in social justice. That's what brought me to the church originally. I've never joined a Unitarian church before, but I have attended in Portland, Maine, and in Clearwater for a year. I've attended a couple of churches, so I have a little bit of experience with the UU, but I definitely am interested in social justice and speaking up, and we had lots of people. I think we had 20 of us at the protest, so there's a lot of people that have similar views here, so I feel like I'm in good company here. I definitely feel like this is an oasis in Florida and in the world, so yeah, and I think sometimes it feels overwhelming, all the things in the world, and you're like, well, what can I do? What can one person do? And maybe you can't do that much, but together we can. So I feel like that's what we're finding here. So that's what I'm hoping to do. And for me, like I said, I'm interested in social justice of all kinds, and certainly being active politically, but also I'm especially interested in animals, and I know I need to talk to the cat people here with the people in charge of the feral cat colony, because I also was, speaking of animal rights, this county does not have a great record for the animal shelter. You may know it's one of the most troubling in the state as far as so I definitely am interested in helping. If anybody else is interested in that, and I guess there are a few people who are already doing that, I'd be very interested in helping. So yeah, that's basically my journey, why I'm happy to be here, and sort of what I'm thinking, how I can help. And so glad to be here.
Wonderful, Jessica, thank you. And while Jessica is signing the book, I would invite Laura Young up. And Laura signed the book a long time ago. And when Jessica's done, I will find that date and let you know. But so we are reinstating her membership today. And I know a lot of you don't know her, and so she's going to come on up. Tell us about Laura. All right.
Thank you. I don't even know when it was. My 12-year-old was between 1 and 2, so I don't know. All right, my phone may be about to die, but I have notes on it. Okay, my name is Laura. I'm from Manchester in the north of England. I then went to live in Japan for 3 years. That's where I met my husband, and that's how I ended up here. We have 2 kids. Rachel is nearly 10. You probably know her. I don't know exactly what she's saying when she's down here, but she is talking a lot. Liz is almost 13, is non-binary. Their pronouns are they and them. That is the hardest part, just remembering that part. I wish I could say I had adjusted to all that seamlessly, but I haven't, but I'm trying. So thank you for welcoming us. As for what my religious background is, the north of England is extremely secular, and honestly, I was raised to view all religions with suspicion, honestly, as if they were all about repression and control. And then, as a teenager, my rebellion was, unfortunately, I ended up at a non-denominational church. I'm sure you know the type. It's kind of hard to find one of those in England, but I found one. Unfortunately, that left me even more prejudiced against specifically Christianity. And then I moved to America. So it is still very strange to me, honestly, culturally, the way people feel it's perfectly fine to say certain things openly. Yeah. But realistically, I need to find a way to process all of that and coexist with it and remain open-minded and not prejudiced. So here I am. During the time I've been, away from home, I've explored Buddhism, specifically engaged Buddhism, which is something you probably find when you look on online Buddhist groups, things like that. Specifically, one major proponent is Thich Nhat Hanh. If you find a group of his, you'll find that stuff. I also attended Quaker meetings and also the UU Church in Baltimore. I lived there for a long time. That's where I did my master's degree in social work. Then I moved here. Then I moved away. But yes, if you do remember vaguely a British woman with a small baby 10 years ago, that was me. My work is really part of spiritual practice for me. That's why I did all of that. I feel like it's taken many generations of effort and resources for me to be here, so I need to make sure I am somewhat of benefit, and I feel like we should draw wisdom from many traditions, so obviously being here is a good fit. I now work at an HIV and STD clinic at the health department. I attempt to help people stay in care by general supports and helping them find resources, that kind of thing. Previously I've worked in domestic violence and sexual assault trafficking services. I also will let you know, I have various chronic illnesses, and I also struggle with mental illness. At this point, I would rather just be honest with everyone about that. I don't want people to think I am somehow uninterested in other people or, don't welcome conversation. I just have certain days where my face just looks that way, maybe, I don't know. Every time somebody talks to me or allows me to kind of participate in their conversation, I appreciate it very much. So since coming here again, I have been enjoying how relaxed it is and how people laugh a lot. Nothing is overly polished. It's fine for things to go a little wrong. I enjoy that a great deal. I feel like that the world is full of very serious and heavy issues, and of course we're somewhat engaging with those as well, but at the same time we need to remember to laugh and appreciate life and, try and stay as cheerful as possible in the face of all of that. One quote from Thich Nhat Hanh, in fact, he says, "I have so much grief for the things I have seen," referring specifically to the Vietnam War, no doubt. "I have so much grief for the things I have seen. That is why I teach joy." So I'm trying. I feel like resistance should be showing numbers and refusing to be quiet also. And as Jessica says, we are here in Polk County, Florida, so even more important. I am very interested in being involved in the social justice activities. I have been kind of prevented from doing that, partly to time constraints and whatnot previously, but anyway, here I am. I and my children have also been cleaning up somewhat. As you say, it is a joy to clean up. I tell myself, at least at home, cleaning is spiritual practice. I call it house yoga. Like, even when I don't really want to do it, that can teach me self-discipline and all of that stuff. So, and my giant children are helping me with that too. So, all right, thank you.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, Laura signed the book on August 31st, 2014. Yeah.
This community is such a welcoming place, and it was nice today to see that two of us came home. When I came to this congregation 3.5 years ago, it was that sort of a feeling. I became UU in 1993 at the First Unitarian Church in Orlando, which is a very large congregation. But for about 15 years, I had no spiritual connection whatsoever. And when I moved to Lakeland, this congregation became all of that for me, and it was like a homecoming. So participating in this part of our service today is a real joy for me. Here at UUCL, we like to say that joining our congregation is not the end of a journey. It's the beginning of an adventure. You're stepping into a community that grows, evolves, and becomes more vibrant every time a new person brings their own light into the room. Today, that light belongs to each of you. One of the most beautiful things about UUCL is that we are not a spectator congregation. We are hands-on. A hands-on, hearts-in kind of community. Communities and volunteer teams are where our ideas turn into action, where creativity meets purpose, and where friendships form over coffee, shared projects, and the occasional, wait, who has the password for that? Committee work here isn't about filling slots on a chart. It's about discovering what gifts you bring and finding joyful ways to use them. Maybe you're a spreadsheet wizard. Maybe you love greeting people at the door. Maybe you have a passion for music, social justice, finance, communications, or hospitality. Especially snacks. We always honor the spiritual importance of snacks. Whatever your talents, your curiosities, or even your secret skills you haven't told anyone about yet, we are excited about what you will bring. Truly, this congregation becomes stronger, more creative, and more alive with every person who leans in, shows up, and says, yes, I can help with that. So today, we don't just welcome you as members, we welcome you as co-creators of this community. We welcome your ideas, your passions, your questions, and your humor. We welcome the gifts that you have to offer, and some we don't even know about yet. Thank you for choosing to share your spiritual journey with us. We are so glad you're here, and we cannot wait to see what we will build together. Welcome home.
You've signed our membership book, and now I invite you to celebrate that commitment with us. Joining the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Lakeland means being part of this funky little church under the tall pines. It means pitching in and speaking out on the future of our congregation. It means being supported and receiving the gifts of the Spirit so you may grow yourself. And it also means giving to and supporting others. It means helping us as a whole and interconnected church community work towards our mission of love plus connection equals transformation, and towards the aspirations that we have for ourselves and the world. New and returning members, if you will join us in this mission and aspirational work, please say, I will.
I will.
And will the members of the congregation please rise and read the words on the screen behind me? We receive you with open hands and hearts as you join us. We once again renew our own commitment to this religious community. We are proud and happy to have you among us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let us read together our UUCL aspirational statements that we just recently voted to accept. They were in your order of service. Oh, and they're also on the TV screens. We aspire for ourselves a spiritual home where individuals feel seen, heard, and valued, where they can explore their beliefs freely, deepen their self-awareness, and grow in love and justice. We aspire for our congregation to be a beacon of inclusivity, pluralism, and action, a dynamic and engaged community
that fosters deep relationships and ignites passion for justice. We aspire to contribute to the creation of a Polk County, which is a county where people of all backgrounds find belonging, and interfaith collaboration fosters a more just society. We aspire to create a world rooted in justice, equity, and interdependence, where humanity thrives with the earth.
Thank you. You may be seated. You have entered into our covenants, and so now you can consider yourself a UU.
Consider yourself you. Consider yourself one of the members here. We've taken to you so strong. It's clear we're gonna get along. When you came in, you didn't know just who we were. These you folks. But look, we've been learning all our values in our covenants. You have signed our book. It's too late. Consider yourself our friends. We don't want to have no fuss. For after some consideration, we can stay. Consider yourself one of us.
Thank you and welcome. Well, that is the end, well, sort of the end of our service. We're going to finish with a song instead of words, another song instead of words, but it's a song that's very meaningful to us as Unitarian Universalists. It's in our gray hymnal, number 318. But before we sing, I would like for us to just kind of get up and make a circle as a symbol of how we widen the circle to let others in. So go ahead, do the best you can. I know it's, it's a little crampy, a little awkward. You can do it. Big old circle. Invite people in. We have lots of new people today. Invite them in too. You can hold hands or not. You can do elbows, whatever you are comfortable with. We understand everyone has a different level of comfort. There we go. Nice, big circle. I love it. It's beautiful. This song is called We Would Be One. And the hymns, or the words will be up there above Adam, but are we ready? Mitra, would you please extinguish our chalice? We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. Well, find your prophetic voice and use it out in that world, remembering that you are loved, you are worthy, and you are a blessing. Thank you. We will see you in the social hall for potluck, and then I will see some of you back in here for Marcia's service.
I'm gonna take the packet for Julia with me and see that she gets it this week.
Oh, okay. Well, I really just, yeah, she can
Oh,
sign.
did you have a different idea?
No, I mean, she maybe doesn't want to sign it. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you think maybe
Well, I
she's...
want her to sign the book, but if she doesn't want to do it like in front of people, we don't have to.
You tell me then what you think the best way. The reason I offered is she and I live within 2 miles of each other, and it was convenient, and I see her now and then. So if it would, on the practical side, if that would be helpful, let me know. I don't want to.
Let me talk with her and see
Yes.
if she's wanting to sign in front or she just wants to do it behind the scenes. Yeah.
Okay, let me know.
Testing, testing.